Ann and Jerry are on, Peter, remote.
Okay, so we have four.
Yep, we have 7. Yeah.
First thing is, that we're going to follow the rules for December 20, order. And three is already moved, minutes of the regular November meeting, so go directly to person having the purpose. Next is the hearing of that. Referring to the environmental assessment form for this project. Board, do you have any questions of item 1? Now, I'm just going to move on. Part 2. Participation. Like to know if yes or no. And after that, we get into some. Yeah. In fact, on land, full action will involve construction on a physical alteration to land surface of the proposed site. Yes or no? Okay. Obviously, building for that. Now we'll get into the subscript. Here we have 2 choices. Either no or small impact may occur. Column 2 is large impact may occur. So both the proposed action may involve construction of land where depth of water table is less than 3 feet. No. Okay. Proposed action may involve construction of slopes of 15% or greater. Proposed action may involve construction of land where bedrock is exposed, again within 5 feet of existing ground surface.
No.
Proposed action may involve excavation and removal of more than 1,000 tons of natural material. Proposed action may involve construction that continues for more than 1 year or in multiple phases.
How long do you expect this to take place?
I would anticipate it to be less than a year from start to decent.
He's well aware of for. Result in an increase in erosion, whether it's or vegetation removal. Road action is or may be located within a coastal erosion hazard area. In fact, geological features, proposed action may result in the modification or destruction of habitat access to the unique or unusual landforms on the site.
No.
Impacts of surface water, proposed action may affect the groundwater, wetlands, or other surface water bodies.
No.
Impact on groundwater, proposed action may result in new or additional use of groundwater or may have the potential to introduce contaminants to the groundwater or the aquifer.
No.
Impact of flooding, proposed action may result in the development of land subject to flooding. Action here, proposed action may include a state regulated air emission source. Impact on plants and animals, proposed action may result in a loss of flora or fauna.
No.
Impact on agricultural resources, proposed action may impact agricultural resources.
No.
Back on the aesthetic resources. Land use and proposed action are obviously different from or in sharp contrast to current land use pattern between the proposed project and a scenic or aesthetic resource.
No.
Historic or archaeological resources. Proposed action may occur in or adjacent to a historic or archaeological resource. And recreation. Proposed action may result in the loss of recreational opportunities and a reduction in open space resources as designated in any adopted municipal open space plan.
No.
In fact, in the CEA, proposed action may be located within or adjacent to a critical environmental area.
No.
No, we don't have any. In fact, in energy, proposed action may cause an increase in the use of any form of energy.
Yes, but small.
Thank you. Proposed action will require a new or an upgrade to the existing substation. That's no. Proposed action will require the creation or extension of an energy transmission supply system to serve more than 50 single or two-family residents or serve a commercial or industrial use. That's a no. Proposed action may utilize more than 2,500 megawatts per hour of electricity.
No.
But actually may involve heating and or cooling of more than 100,000 square feet of building area.
No.
Peter, did you address question 13? Impact on transportation at the top?
That's one I didn't like. In fact, I changed it. Proposed action that result in the change of existing transportation system. Thank you, Jim.
Yep.
Okay. In fact, noise, odor, and light. Proposed action result in an increase in noise, odor, or outdoor light.
No to small. No to small.
So it's a no. So it's a no. It's not a hard test, so that's a no.
Human health, proposed action may have an impact on health for the approach of more existing sources of contaminants.
No.
I lost page 10.
Need page 10?
I lost it. It's a no.
Here you go.
Thank you. Consistent with community character. Proposed action may replace or proposed action is inconsistent with existing community character. You say no to that. Okay. That's three. Thank you, Jim. Congratulations. Successfully completed part two. Now we go to part three. Yeah. This one can be short. What we do? Well, you have.
I think it's a unlisted action.
It's almost. We have a motion for the final notice.
Motion to clarify the declaration on the seeker for 112 Wilson.
Motion has been made to declare negative on the environmental section for residential apartments. To the motion, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
The motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, I can call the roll, please.
John Arnold,
Aye.
Eric Bergman,
Yes.
Ian Purdue,
Aye.
Mike Shaver,
Aye.
Gerald Bouchard,
Aye.
Adam Siebel, Peter Jensen.
Aye. I have 7 in the affirmative, is that correct?
Yes.
Motion carries. Well, that was so much fun. We also have scheduled for this evening, the public hearing on this proposal. And in keeping with our stated goals, for the public hearing, the ground rules are simple. Anyone that has a question, want to ask a question, or comments concerning this application is encouraged and invited to do so. And we will request, although it's not mandated, that if you do have a question, like to make a comment, you simply state your name. And that's for record keeping purposes only. Over 5 years from now, you can say, Johnny Jones said, rather than someone said. And our third and probably most important ground rule from the whole thing is that we move anything from sense of decorum. With that, is there anyone who would like to ask a question or comment concerning the Harrison Avenue project?
Just for the record, it was properly advertised and noticed, and we didn't get any written correspondence concerning the hearing.
Pardon, is there anybody on?
Well, I'll check. That's a good point.
Jim, help me make out the sidewalks down there.
Paul's opinion was that he'd like to see the sidewalk remain on their property. He does not want to have it in the right of way.
So what are we doing? I'll introduce the project to the board. I know we've looked at it a few times, but there are a few members of the public, so I might as well go through what we are proposing. For the record, I'm Joe Danville with the Environmental Design Partnership here on behalf of Scribble Residential Holdings in their application for a 16-unit apartment community located at 112 Harrison Avenue. Overall view of the site, Harrison Avenue running east-west. The yellow trapezoid on the south side of Harrison Avenue is the 2-acre parcel. That parcel does contain an existing house, as well as a wooded area behind the house. Property is within the UR zone. Multifamily residential is a permitted use within that district. And a little more close up of the existing conditions of the site. Again, existing single-family residence, curb cut onto Harrison Avenue. Remainder of the site is generally wooded with mixed deciduous and evergreen vegetation common to the area. Now on this orientation, north is to the right, opposite, slightly rotated 90 degrees from previous slides. We're proposing a single curb cut onto Harrison Avenue, where we come into the site to provide access to the 4 individual buildings, each housing 4 apartment units. Each unit will be equipped with a garage and spaces to park behind the garage, as well as additional parking on the opposite side of the driveway. There's a turnaround 3/4 of the way down the road for emergency services, which does comply with all National Fire Code standards, as well as meets the turning criteria for the local fire trucks that may respond to the site. We've provided an area for refuse enclosure for all the residents to be able to leave their trash out. We provided a mail kiosk, that's a small brown building opposite the first 6 parking spaces in on the left. We have a comprehensive stormwater pollution prevention plan that complies with all state regulations. I think everyone's in receipt of the latest letter from LaBerge Engineering They had a couple comments on there about adding some additional notes. As you will see, as we get further down the slides, we did add those additional notes that were requested by the town's engineer. Therefore, I think we've completed their review. Ultimately, we will get a final sign-off letter from them. We did have some conversations at the previous meeting related to sidewalk placement associated with the storm ponds. We're willing to do whatever the town wants us to do. Certainly, the apartment community immediately to the west is also owned by Skirmhorn Residential Holdings. In that scenario, which was approved maybe 5-6 years ago, the town wanted and approved the sidewalk to be located within the right of way. In this scenario, we're now told we want it out of the right of way. We're gonna have to make, if we do bring it into our property onto the right of way, there's gonna have to be an easement to the town for them, for the use of that as a public right of way for use by town residents. We're gonna have to make some, it's gonna have to start in the right of way and then come back into our property and maybe meander back out of into the right of way in order to make that happen. It's kind of going to create an irregular situation. Again, we're willing to do whatever the town wants us to do. We're just hoping to get some consistency as we develop this corridor as to where the sidewalks are going to be. And I think from the town's perspective, they'd like them in a straight line, consistent with the edge of pavement, similar to how you would expect that. So, again, either way, you tell me where you want it, the town tells me where they want it, and we'll make that happen with the appropriate easements in place.
I can intercede for just a moment. So, Jim, did he say why he wanted it out of the town's right of way? Is that for access to utilities or something,
Because
or?
they didn't want to maintain.
Okay.
Yeah, he'd rather, yeah.
I
He'd
know
rather
too,
just have it.
Skirmhorn is maintaining the sidewalk on the project that's west of that, even though it's in the town right of way, but if it is in the town right of way, I thought maybe it was the liability.
I think it's a combination of those factors.
Okay.
So Paul does want it out of the right of way.
He does want it out of the right of way. That's what he told me.
Okay, because
I did inform him that the adjoining property does have the sidewalk, you know, in the right of way there, but I'm just telling you what he told me, so.
okay, yeah, and I agree, it should be out of the right of way, because, you know, I mean, I went down there today and saw one that has not been cleaned yet, and it's in the town's right of way. So that, to me, I think that would make the town responsible. We're trying to avoid that. My opinion, and I think the highway is hurt, so. I mean, you're right, we are too late, we should have done it right from the beginning.
I mean, from a legal standpoint, there's a lot of laws specifically about sidewalks, either on property, off property, on property with an easement, or on the town's land without an easement. I don't know that there's actually any different liability either way, from at least a legal precedent on that scenario. But I know it is a responsibility of the owner of the property to properly maintain that sidewalk. In this scenario, that's what would be offered in either scenario.
All right, so in this scenario, our highway superintendent, who's responsible for the right of way, is saying no.
Correct.
Okay. My opinion is that's what we should do.
Is that right of way on Harrison, is that owned by the town? Or is it just a right of way over their property?
I think it's owned in fee. I think it is a right of way.
I think it's,
That's different. So it's like out by me, the right of way is actually on my property. So as much as the town has the right to it, I can't build in it, I can't put my fence in it, it's still my land.
That's called a road by use.
Yeah. So but you're saying Harrison is one where the town actually owns the land road, it's on hand.
I believe that is the case.
Okay,
I don't know, but. seems
I
like
believe
that's
that is the case.
Okay.
I don't know it as a fact. Let me go on the record as saying that, but I believe it's the case.
okay. Thank you, I just was curious, because as soon as you said that you had to have an arrangement that allows the public onto it, then I'm thinking, okay, well, that's probably still gonna relieve the liability, it's still gonna put the liability onto the public around the town, and that, and you break when it doesn't.
Right, it's public sidewalk, there's a lot of rules and regulations, I haven't read them all, but.
And then honestly, we're not asking you to build a public sidewalk that you're gonna put a pole behind. It's not like you're gonna own that sidewalk and your tenants can use it. The idea is it is a public sidewalk. It would seem to me the public sidewalk should be on the public right of way. That's my position on it, but I'm not Paul, and it's his choice, so.
We asked and that's what he said.
Yeah, so.
John, I think you're right, it's just that the town is not set up to maintain sidewalks, and I'm not sure Paul wants to get into that. So but you're right what you're saying.
I think if this were a city, it'd be a little bit different.
Right, of
situation.
course.
Right, yeah.
Very good.
I'm sorry, please.
I'm gonna interrupt you right now. Mr. Martin, do we have anyone on?
We do have two people on. I'm not sure why, they're on, but I do see two people joining us. They are self-muted. So if they'd like to speak, they certainly can I'll ask them to unmute
Okay.
if they have any comment. I've asked them both to unmute, so I'll let you know if you want to keep going, but I did,
Ignore the folks that we can't see.
let me see here, I'll ask,
So, just continuing on, we did do, at the board's request, we did a traffic assessment for the 16 units. That traffic assessment was then requested to be reviewed by a third party. Town's third party engineer for this property was GPI, Green Peterson. They reviewed it. I read through it, I'm sure the board's read through it. They concur with all the findings of the traffic assessment as proposed and take no exception to it. Therefore, we have a plan that does not have any impact, as you found in seeker, to traffic adjacent to the property. This is the sheet that we were talking about. The town's engineer commented on a few items on this sheet. We did, somewhat hard to read, but we did add a note here about separation to groundwater further request. We also added a note here that would require the monitoring well within the basins to extend down to 3 feet below the bottom of the basins. Those are the two requests, and then there was a note about construction sequencing that was also updated as part of that. So again, I think we have a very solid set of plans. We're here tonight, obviously, for a public hearing, and ultimately, if the board deems it appropriate, we'd like to obtain a final approval tonight.
Oh, listen to that. Anything
It's a
from
very
you?
positive attitude.
It's Christmas, we should all be positive.
There you go.
the one person's responded back saying they have no comment, they're on for another item on the agenda.
Okay.
I asked the second person and I haven't gotten any comment yet. There was a third person on, a reporter from the Post-Star, just observing the meeting.
I'm Denise Street, I live at 101 Sisson Road, which is right on the corner of Sisson and Harrison Avenue. We already have enough Skimmerhorn apartments down there. What's going on with the water? Why are we the highest paying water district? What's going on with the school system? When you're putting these many apartments in, what's gonna happen? The traffic that he's talking about has gotten ridiculous down there. I'm just waiting for someone to get killed on that road now, because all you get is kids and adults speeding up and down that road, and there's a lot of kids already walking up and down that road. Taxes, what's that going to do with our taxes? I don't think we need any more skim oil.
Thank you. Anyone else? Nothing further on virtual?
No, they both responded back that they're here for another item.
Okay, thank you. Then public hearing is closed. Board. What do you want to do?
Peter, this is Ann. To get back to the sidewalk question, sidewalks are gonna, if it's not a problem for this project, it's gonna be an issue with regard to a number of projects, including several we're looking to on Route 9. And the concept that we can't, the town cannot take care of sidewalks or is not prepared to take care of them is a little concerning. Particularly if we do want to encourage safe pedestrian traffic generally. If someone, an applicant or developer is willing to construct the sidewalk in the first instance, I would think it would be to the benefit of the town generally to then maintain them. I believe that as a practical matter, the sidewalks are supposed to be shoveled in the winter by the adjoining property owner. I'm not entirely certain of that, but I think that's the case in other municipalities. So, but maybe this is the first time we're confronting it with regard to a project, but the sidewalks are probably something we need to sort out.
Well, I have to somewhat agree, and I think it's very odd that a public sidewalk, the public does not want, the town does not want. I think that's short-sighted on our part. And we had the brouhaha of the first go around with somebody else's. We come up with that the developer would place the sidewalks and they would be in the right of way. And that would automatically make them town responsibility. So now we have an official of the town saying we don't want to maintain them. Now that they don't want to maintain them. I think that's a question that needs to go to council. Because we're not the ones to make those types of decisions for the town. My personal opinion, they should be in the right of way and they should be maintained. I don't know if they will throw the rocks and eggs at me when I go to the door, but that's fine.
Okay, if I can add to that, I'm going to ask the applicant, do you believe that your client would have a problem with maintaining the sidewalks if they were placed on the town right away?
No, my client already maintains the sidewalks that are on town property on the adjacent parcel and would certainly propose to do so in this instance as well.
But then I'm going to agree with Ann and Pete on this, and I guess I would refer to Paul and ask him to come up with I respect his opinion. I'd like to know why he's changed his position on this, because I do know that the previous one specifically said he wanted it in the right of way. If it's in the right of way, then the town has a right to it.
Yes.
We don't have to ask you to give permission for people to use it, and people will use it. And I don't have a problem with the applicant being required to maintain it. Thank you for building it. If we have to tear it up to move a utility that's in the town right away, the town should be responsible for replacing it, not you, but you certainly can maintain it for now. And the fact that you're putting it in there for everybody to use is very nice of you. So.
But I don't agree with that. The problem I have is I went down here today, was a prime example, and it wasn't done.
That's a matter of enforcement.
Well, exactly, and I think where we need to go is what our code says, and really look at what legal says about it. Our highway guy is going to be the guy that's, it's in his right of way. He's responsible for that right of way, and I think we have to respect his opinion.
Was that sidewalk? I guess my position is that sidewalk wasn't maintained today. It probably didn't matter if it was in the right of way or on the landowner's property.
Well, I think if it's in the town right away, then the town would be somewhat responsible. And what I'm trying to do is avoid if something happens down there, I guess.
Okay.
But
I respect that.
Yeah, thank you.
I respect that.
That's good, except we can't expect or anticipate the town to relinquish any responsibility for anything. I think if we let this thing snowball, then why not have highways owned by somebody else? And that's getting to the point of ridiculous, but it's an example of what can happen. If it's in town-owned sidewalk, then the town is responsible and they need to maintain it. If they don't, then code enforcement gets a call. What we need to do to try and obligate an applicant because he's trying to do this project to absolve the town of responsibility is inappropriate. Still so right, that. Anything further?
I mean, from my applicant standpoint, certainly would like some direction on where to go. We agreed to do it either way. Certainly our preference is within the right of way, as we are not taking people onto our property, and we do regularly maintain it, whether or not it didn't get maintained the first snowstorm of the year. I think that's potentially an anomaly that just maybe is an oversight, but it certainly has been maintained in the past. And I wouldn't want to hold up this project. It is something that we've been discussing for a few meetings now, and it just seems like we have kind of maybe a split board, or most of the board wants it within the right of way, and some don't.
But you see, we want to see you come back.
I'll be back here in multiple projects, I'm sure. I like it up here.
You have, you heard the request, you have a couple of applications, you have a couple of changes that you may wish to make. You may table it. You may approve, subject to council's determination. Or you can just tell them to get out.
I think, speaking for myself, I'd be in favor of approving it, with council being the final word on the sidewalk location. If council says that, it's in the right of way, but the landowner needs to maintain it, and because I know that's the way it is in cities, landowners can get, the homeowners can get fined or whatever if they don't show the sidewalk. It's pretty common. So if council comes back with, that's the law of the land of that, or with some wording to make it the law of the land, I think it'd be a lot easier. But putting the responsibility back on them to show.
How does it appear on the plans at the moment?
At the moment, it is within the right of way to match up with the adjacent.
Is there a note on the plans that says to be maintained by owner?
I could look, but I can make sure that note is on the plan if it remains in the right of way.
I think one way forward that wasn't mentioned, is we approve the project as is, if that note is on there, but with the stipulation that it has to go past legal, to make sure they're okay with the placement of the sidewalk. That way we're still moving forward. It's kind of just going in from the different direction, so it doesn't have to come back to us after that. And if that's how it is on the plans, then we're approving a set of plans as they are. And then leaving it that they may need to have an adjustment.
Yeah, I'd be amenable to that, approving the plans as is, and then ultimately, as long as this board would approve it on this right away or outside of the right of way, depending upon council and staff recommendations, we're good with that.
Okay, we're gonna do.
Make a motion to have the approval for 112 Harrison Ave appointments, with the stipulation that the wording that was just mentioned about the owner taking care of the sidewalk and public right away, add to the set plans.
Yep.
In that final determination on the sidewalk matter to be in.
Okay, I do not disagree with anything that you said, except for one thing. You do not have conditional approval or accept your approval. So you can approve subject to
It's not
those
subdivision.
conditions.
You can approve subject to.
Yes. Your desire to change your motion to from
I'll make a motion to approve subject to the conditions just mentioned, which are including a note on the plans that the owner will be responsible for maintenance and so on. And that final legal determination to be final.
Okay, motion been made. To the motion, do I have a second? Second. Mr. Martin, second. Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
This is Ann. I've got a question. In the legal determination that you're looking for, if Carla says it's okay for this type of arrangement where the developer agrees to maintain the sidewalk, then nothing further needs to be done with that issue. If she says there's a legal problem, I think it may have to come back to us to consider how we are going to resolve it. Is that the way you understand the motion?
The motion is to pending legal. So we can do just about anything that legal tells us to do in the form of this motion. And obviously, if they tell us we can't do that, we're going to have a quick discussion with the applicant. And does it need to come back here? No, but because we have approved subject to council. So we don't need to see the bright smiling faces again over this issue. So welcome to come back and anything else and throw stones out. So other than that, any further discussion?
Yeah, I got one thing. I think we need to respect our water, or our highway superintendent. And being that he's responsible for that right away, I don't agree with what we're,
Okay, that's
so, but that's fine, but I just wanted for the record.
Yeah, hey, Mike.
Yes,
Mike,
yes, Gary.
this is Jerry. I just did a quick search on our code on sidewalks, and it says that no one, chapter 121-1 in our code says that no person shall construct, reconstruct, or repair any sidewalk on or along any streets or highways in the town of Monroe without first having made written application for permission to do so to the building inspector and or code enforcement officer. The highway superintendent has no, they don't even reference them in our town code. So while I'm not saying that it's not proper for him to have some input, I don't know that it's his call.
So he's now responsible for the town right away then?
He is responsible for it, but he does not have the authority to approve or disapprove.
Okay,
Anything goes in.
okay.
So, I mean, the town board hasn't given him that authority as I read it, but, yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, this is Jim. I think what's important about that passage you just read, Jerry, is the implication of that is the town's not even considering maintenance in any instance. That's what I read out of that section, that it is totally the responsibility of the private landowner and the town simply enforcing that. There is not even a scenario by which the town will ever consider maintenance of sidewalks.
So really what we said is that the town says it's okay for a private contractor to work in the right of way and maintain that sidewalk.
Right.
According to the code.
Right, now, what I think should be done, I'm sure Carla would come through with this, the same opinion is that if this does in fact end up in the right of way, we have to grant them permission, give them an easement to come into our property and maintain that section of the
That's pretty much what the code says.
Yep.
Yeah. Again, thank you, Jerry. Yeah.
And I think that's consistent with what Paul's, attitude towards this is, and, Paul's concerned about quickly being overwhelmed. If he starts taking on maintenance responsibilities over sidewalks, the cost, the equipment, the labor, the effort would quickly become a real issue,
We can confirm, Paul, that we don't have any intention of him having to maintain this. And even in the Route 9, if you get into a commercial corridor, all right, the landowners are usually still responsible for those sidewalks. They may have a business district that hires a contractor to do everybody's sidewalks, but they're still responsible for their sidewalks.
And I can tell you, in my experience into this over the years, I've been in Queensbury, Glens Falls, here, Glenville. Nobody's got, a perfect answer for this. Every community struggles with sidewalk maintenance because it's very difficult to have the staff and the time and the money to do it as a township. But yet, you know, it is also difficult for the individual property owners in getting uniformity, you know, in that maintenance practice. I mean, you can go down any street in any community and one property owner is very diligent. Others get to it when they do, and others just don't ever. And how that's enforced.
Our code clearly states it's gonna happen, so, okay, I'm good with it. Thank you again, Jerry.
You are welcome.
Motion is a second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Clarification, Chairman, the motion was for preliminary approval.
No, you don't have to move their approval, so.
Okay, I heard preliminary, so I want to make sure that was the.
This is for approval.
And we're okay with the sewer, right, Jim? I think I asked last time. We're okay
Just
with
checking to
it.
make sure you were paying attention.
Yep.
That's all.
This is Ann. There's one other condition that should be added to the approval, and that is the final sign off of LaBerge on the SWIP comments. I think they're minor, but they're just, that price should be in there as well.
Yes,
Understood.
good catch.
Okay. To the motion. Would you call the roll, please?
Second.
John Arnold,
Aye.
Eric Bergman,
Yes.
Ann Purdue,
Yes?
Mike Shaver,
Yeah.
Gerald Bouchard,
Aye.
Adam Siebel,
Yes.
Peter Jensen.
Aye, so I have 7 affirmative, no secretary, is that correct?
Yeah.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anything else, Madam?
Make a motion that the chairman or one of the members sign the Mylar to present to the building department.
Motion's been made. The chair and the thing will say the whatever. Motion by second. Here, motion's been made, second, further discussion. Okay. If not, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Whoa.
Okay.
Abstention.
I'll make us, we start something. else.
Motion carries.
Nice, Senator.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Next one I have on the agenda for this evening is car wash. We have one of those.
Back. One second.
It's okay, it's a man.
I promised our friends you gotta be back. I'm sure.
I think it was a
And while they're getting themselves set up, clarification for the board members, anyone else, that item 3, all question can be marked as requested to be removed from this evening's agenda. We will not be addressing those folks this evening, but they are requested for January, and they might even show up then. So do we have a lot to tell us about the story?
Okay, good evening. Joe Daniel, I'm with Environmental Design Partnership. I'm here with Marty Andrews, who's the Director of Development for Hoffman Car Wash. I'm also here with Tom Hoffman, who's the CEO of Hoffman Car Wash. Third person in the audience here tonight is Alana Moran of VHB. They did the traffic study for the proposed development. We've recently received a letter, comments from the town reviewing engineer, who I believe is Craig Manning Associates in this account. So we will be having some discussion about that tonight as we move forward as well. Quick overview, everyone's familiar with the site. We had a multiple lot subdivision on this property. We're right at the intersection of Route 197, and Route 9, directly opposite the light, the former Auto World. We subdivided it. I think we got final approval sometime in May. We be earlier in that, April of this year. We now have the first commercial development coming forward, is the Thompson's Car Wash. We're seeing this a couple times in its conceptual stages and its preliminary stages. Yeah, we're on Route 9, we're in the C1 commercial zoning district. Car wash is an allowable use within that zone. Again, the existing condition, other than the building on the north or right side of the lot, which has been demolished, which was a condition of the approval of the subdivision, site remains consistent with what you see in the picture here. Former auto dealership, vacant parcel of land to the north, some wooded areas out back. So what we are looking to do is to develop lot 2. This is the approved subdivision plan that's on file with the county offices. We're looking at developing lot 2. Look at this here. Keep thinking I have a touch screen. No, that's not. Lot 2 is the northern lot or the rightmost lot. Coming in from the intersection, it would be to the right northwest portion of the property. So what we are doing is we're putting 3 lanes exiting out of the development onto Route 9. We have 1 lane in, a lane going out and to the left, and 1 lane going to the right. We come into the site, we're about 100 feet in, we take a right into the car wash. We then circulate in a counterclockwise motion, past the exit of the car wash up to the terminals where you enter your numbers or go through the gates. Come around, turn, come into the car wash, go through the car wash, take a right, out, exit into the parking lot, or into the access road. The area between the parking lot, which is in between the access road and the building, is where the vacuum cleaners will be located. We're also providing trash enclosures up on the, I'd say the most northeastern end of the site. Those will be accessible by garbage trucks, which is probably the largest vehicle that will be maneuvering that site. The site and the car wash itself will handle a pickup truck is the largest vehicle that will be able to go through there. No other vehicles, anything larger than that, would be circulating around the north or right side of the building from this position. We are going to be connecting to public sewer, public water, and ultimately, as the public sewer is being built, we will be connecting to the public sewer as well. We've completed a comprehensive stormwater plan. We've gone through 1 round of comments with the Burge Engineering. We responded to their first letter. We've resubmitted those responses. We have not received an updated or any new comments from the engineer at this point in time. I'm certainly willing to work with them and continue to flush out the details of that stormwater management system. We have excellent sandy soils consistent with the majority of the town of Wilton. No interference by groundwater, which makes it a great opportunity for infiltration on the property. And again, having the green infrastructure in compliance with that management. We have a comprehensive planting plan. Anyone that's been to a Hoffman car wash anytime in the last 5 to 10 years certainly sees that landscaping is first and foremost. They have some of the nicest landscaping I've seen in the area personally for any car wash. The new one that they look to construct here in Monroe would be no exception to that rule. Here's a character photo. I say the building's exactly like this, but this is the generally the appearance and the architectural features that are going to be constructed on the property as part of the car wash. Again, a very attractive building, well landscaped, well maintained properties. I think a beautiful addition to the town of Monroe. Last slide. We did a plan showing the stacking of vehicles, understanding how many vehicles can be stacked, waiting to go into the car wash. Within this, without any interference, we're looking to be able to stack about 35 vehicles waiting to enter the car wash. So plenty of room to have cars waiting and not interfere with traffic exiting or entering the site. So with that, I guess we're here, we can answer any questions. I don't know if there's some additional information that the team would like to present, or just respond and see how it goes.
We've been planting flowers for more than 50 years.
I'm sorry. I've only been driving 55.
So the traffic study was completed, end of October, and, we just received comments, like Joe had said, for the traffic study itself. So we have kind of some minor responses to those as far as the way it's written down right now. Do you want me to go through that kind of as a comment by comment? How do you want to go through this?
There's a broad brush.
Broad brush. Okay, so essentially the traffic study is showing that the intersection will operate at overall level service C, with the proposed project and, turning the red flash that's on right now, turning it to 3-color operation. What we're recommending in this study is that the applicant coordinate with New York State DOT to potentially restrike that northbound approach to provide a left turn lane there where it's all hashed out. Not because it's a level of service thing, it operates the same with or without that turn lane, but just because it's a good way to get vehicles kind of out of the way, up through traffic. So that needs to be done with DOT though, just to confirm that the striping is really going to work there, just because of the way the lane arrangement works and the turn from 197. So that would be something to coordinate with DOT. The Creighton Manning comment letter basically agreed that that's a good thing to do as far as to look into that with DOT. They did have some questions about trip generation, a difference of opinion on which data to use for that trip generation estimate, but that's something we can get into in responses as we work our way through.
So let me just be clear on that. So what's the intersection operating at today, levels of service?
Right now it's overall level service B, so it's about 19 seconds of average delay.
So it is a drop in the level of service.
It would be a drop in level of service. Once you turn on the 3-color and just add that additional potential delay, that's when it drops to the C.
Okay. And where are you at in your DOT approval process?
We have submitted everything to DOT along with the stage 1 of the Perm 33 COM, which is basically their highway work permit, or the first part of the highway work permit application. We have not yet heard back, and I typically don't bug them until it's been about 6 weeks. So I guess it's time to start bugging them.
Okay.
Questions, comments, concerns?
I'm not sure we can ask a question too. What are utilities going to be put in? That road gets stubbed in? Down that road, the water and the sewer, or are they gonna be done after, or?
You know, I don't know what the approach they're taking. Joe, what are you doing? Are you doing a lateral directly from Route 9, or are you going to,
Yeah, we're proposing for, this building is 2 laterals directly out to Route 9. Whether or not there are future utilities extended up that road, I think it depends on ultimately what gets developed in the rear. For this parcel, as it exists, there's really only one more piece of land here. If nothing is to ever happen over there, running laterals for that rear parcel is more than adequate, and then this building certainly connects to the road. If something bigger was to happen in the future, they probably would be required to run mains up there, dedicated mains at that point in time. I don't know, I don't have control over that.
So we're gonna put the road in with no utilities, is that correct?
right now it's gonna be, it's technically a driveway, Mike, but it is gonna essentially be the first leg to that road someday, if it's ever all built. This will be the first leg.
Okay, just want to get that clarified.
But they are gonna have their own dedicated lateral.
Yeah, right, coming right out Route 9. Correct. Okay.
So this 3-lane driveway is going to be maintained by Hoffman's?
So there is an agreement on this portion of land, all 3 owners, well, 2 owners, right now there's this lot, and then all this is 1 lot at this point in time.
Right.
There's an agreement in place for maintenance of the area within this easement. Right now, Hoffman's is the only user on that road, so they would be maintaining it until these other properties develop, and then there's maintenance agreements in place for that easement.
So DOT is turning on that three-way traffic light for a driver. I'm not saying that's out of the ordinary, I'm just saying that's the
Yes.
fact that we have.
Yes.
John, I'm already talking about, we had a, long time ago down at the park, it's almost a similar type of situation on our Route 9 in Half Moon.
Yes.
And that was stubbed in, we were the only one there, and then later on, come Robin, and then all those other developments came in behind us.
Okay.
We did the same thing at that time.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure I was clear on that's what. On your map, you have a thing called a vacuum coral.
Correct.
I'm assuming there's an R missing, it should be correct.
Sounds right.
That's right now, it's an area that I was curious about, I see the dumpsters in there, and I'm wondering how a dumpster truck, I assume they're gonna come in on the left side of the building and try and right straight back to those dumpster things. But how are they getting back out?
Yeah, so in this area here,
Yeah, because they're not driving around the building,
correct, no, they're gonna come in, back around and come out.
so they're gonna back around towards the vacuum corral, and then come back
Yeah,
out.
back out towards
And you
this area
check,
here.
you check the radiuses and they work for a dump.
Yep, for the garbage vehicle it does. That's an extra wide area of pavement you probably have from, this area here to this area there, you're probably about 70 feet.
Okay, all right.
Or anything further?
We have not had a public hearing on this yet.
We do not, and we do have a seeker.
You know, we have not obviously done the seeker either.
So, Ward, what do you want to do?
This is Ann. I'm wondering when it is, there will be a response to the review that was done by Creighton Manning on the traffic study. I think the presentation we had this evening is interesting, but the analysis that Creighton Manning provided was fairly lengthy and detailed. And typically the applicant responds directly to Creighton Manning to address those issues. So is that underway?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, we just received those comments on like Friday, so yes, we will provide a formal response to comments letter for everyone to review, including the DOT and the town.
Okay, the letter I'm looking at stated November 8th. Have you gotten that?
We got it Friday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just in time for the meeting.
All right.
Or
So
anything further?
then, but how quickly might you respond? I know you've just gone it, but do you have an idea of what your time frame is?
Next. Yeah, we responded to Berta's letter, the next submission date, want to get out in January public hearings, like, over the holidays, of course.
Yeah, that's the part I'm thinking about.
Right.
The vacation's down or something. It's not the week, certainly not this week. But it's not next week, early the following, and it's really a matter of where people are. So what is that?
So you're into like January 4th,
Yes,
that would be.
like the week after New Year's.
Right. When is the submission date, Jim? Is that January 4th?
I think it's the third.
There is a Sunday.
Yeah,
Oh,
fourth.
sorry, we're looking at 2021.
Yeah, but we could get it in by the third for that submission date.
Yeah, it's the third.
Third's probably going to be a holiday for a lot of people.
Okay, with Jim. We haven't done it yet, but our January meeting is not normally the third Monday,
Before,
it'll be the fourth Monday. That moves the date for submissions a week later.
Yeah, so yeah, we do have 5 Mondays in January, so that actually works out pretty well. So yeah, I did forget that. So the submission date would be the 10th.
Oh, fantastic. Certainly by the next meeting, the submission date then.
So our meeting is January 24th.
And so ideally, we have all the responses in, and we have a public hearing for the 24th.
Well, that's up to the board. I mean, if they want to set
We're
it.
excited, yeah, we're just saying it couldn't.
We're hoping, We're feeling really good. We have a very positive attitude tonight. So we started and want to keep it going.
Seems how it's Joe, it's here, February 18th.
February 18th. I'm sure I'll be here in January anyway.
Oh. Or we want to,
So we're waiting on the traffic, you know, for reply back, also on stormwater.
Yeah, those appear to be the two.
Yeah, we responded, and I believe Spurs does have those responses. I think it's just a matter of getting them to finalize their letter and get it back to us. Jim, and just related to seeker, has this gone to county?
Yep. That's all been sent.
okay, board. You want to do a little hearing? That's right.
Sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Great idea.
So I have a motion.
Sounds like fun. Make a motion that we schedule a public hearing for the Hoffman's Car Wash project. I don't have a calendar for January.
January 24th, Monday, January 24th.
Okay, so
We have nothing else, so.
I would suggest that we schedule it for January 24th, Monday, January 24th at 7:01 p.m. I don't believe we have any other.
That time slot's available.
Motion's been made to hold a public hearing for Hoffman Car Wash, to the scheduled meeting on January 24th. To the motion, for a second. Here, motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
422.
If not, I don't really think that's too controversial. All those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, a clerical question.
Sure.
Should we change our planning board meeting for January to January 24th?
Yeah, we're going to do that, and February.
Okay, if you want to do that now, should we schedule anything else for January 24th for a meeting we don't have? Okay, so I'll make a motion that we change our regularly scheduled planning board meeting for January to the 24th to avoid federal holidays. And the same for February. I believe it's the fourth Monday in February also.
Motion's been made. Schedule special, non-special, meetings for January and February to the fourth Monday of the month due to federal holidays. Motion, wait a second. Motion been made, second. Any further discussion?
Just on a discussion point on that, that's also obviously pending the application receipt. We have a need for a second meeting. I'm probably looking at the 31st would be my first gut reaction. I don't know where we stand, but lately we have had a need for a second meeting, and I would probably gravitate towards the 31st.
I would say so.
Okay.
But that's not, I don't know what the applications look like yet.
Don't forget the third Monday in February is President's Day.
Yeah.
We have the same problem. We always have to,
That's why we just moved that meeting to.
you have to move that one too.
So that would be the 28th.
But that's Valentine's Day, so I will be here.
Motion has been made and second to change the planning board meetings for January and February to the fourth Monday of the month rather than third Monday due to federal holidays. All those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions?
You just requested that we put you on a February meeting, is that what you just said? You said February 28th, right?
So it just seemed like a very nice date in my head.
Okay, so you want to do that, so we'll cancel the January one, we'll make it February, that way you definitely have plenty of time. All right,
Thank you, everyone. Have a Merry Christmas.
can't leave yet.
CEO.
Next item I have on the agenda is Harrison Avenue storage units. We have one of those.
Jim, do we have Jack's Pud and the All Town projects also for January?
Was that All Town Fresh, you said?
Yeah, All Town, and I thought Jack's Bud also put itself off to January.
What's the second one? I didn't hear you.
Jack's PUD,
The All Town Fresh, I'm very certain is gonna come for January. I'm less certain about, the PUD. I don't
Okay.
have any confirmation of that yet.
all right.
Councilmember Stern, Joseph Short.
Good board. Fidget here.
Tell us a story, what's going on?
Well, what's going on here is they'd like to put up like those. Well, being a little smaller. Here. 7 feet. Another 6 are going to be the same size, 30 by 24. Same size as there right now.
You think there's a necessity? Or?
Well, I think I control. They have.
That makes smart then. Well, brief opportunity to take a look at this. Do you have any questions, comments, or concerns? So this layout. Come on, we can't move this to the.
Yeah. I mean,
I thought the original plan on this had these units in the back already slated as future.
I don't think so.
No, did it just, it was like RV storage or something listed? Okay.
I didn't find anything like
It's
that.
smart if they did, but.
Well, I know they said that eventually they thought they would hope to do that, but maybe they decided not to. Okay.
I think if we keep going, we'll never know.
Right. So the only thing that I found on this, that was, you know, something I noticed that I'm sure is gonna be dealt with is the plan shows the buildings, but it doesn't show an extension of your gravel
yeah.
back around the buildings.
That's right.
That's what the dash line is now.
Is it, so that's gonna count as that too? 'Cause it's a different line than what the other gravel areas were.
Yeah, there's gonna be, they're gonna grade it and fix it so that you don't drive right around the buildings.
And actually, that's gonna be the limit because we're pretty much at 40% impervious.
Right, second, isn't it? Yeah, 40%.
Board.
May I ask you about the fence going all the way around it?
Yeah, that's,
I don't see gates in it.
well, there are, but, I guess we forgot the label, there's gates.
Well, because what concerns me down there is if you get into a brush fire or something like that, and these guys want to, go in between the buildings, you should have some man gates throughout that, so it's kind of like a gateway,
Yeah. Well, they're there, I guess we just.
It was just one of the things that I picked up on the courses that I took there when we were doing the solar, about the fences around them. There's only one way in and one way out, if you got a fire in one of those, and have people there that they could get out,
Right.
more exits.
Yeah.
And Jim, I don't know, is there something in our code that says so many feet of fence around a certain building, you gotta have man gates in there or anything like that?
Not that I'm aware of, but I can see where it would be a good idea.
Yeah, so, maybe one at every road or something.
There is existing gates right now. I mean, but-
Well, I don't see any on here, so.
No, they're there though, we just forgot the label.
Well, I see one gate at the entrance, obviously, but
Yeah, right.
Well, that's,
That's all. It's kind of a safety issue, maybe.
So was the area in the back here on the previous site plan, was that listed as solid or all gravel or other storage? Is that the area?
No, I don't think so. It's, site plan is basically for what's existing right now.
Okay,
But it's
so
all,
this area wasn't gravel, it was used for storage?
no, it's all sand.
So see, it says the edge of existing crushed stone.
Yeah, no, that's what I saw before, so that's what I was getting at, is in this way, does this in any way change our SWIP and require a review of the stormwater as we're adding, fairly sizable addition of impervious?
Yeah, but it's really not all that much, I mean. No, it's just a thing.
Well, I don't know the size of these units, but it's a fairly sizable portion
It's
here.
they're 30 by, they're legal, I think, 30 by 140.
So then that area is, what do you figure, maybe 170 feet in the back there?
You got a scale, him and got a scale.
Scale. So,
Well,
and then you said they're how wide?
30 feet.
30 feet, so there's 30, 60,
Yeah, they're doing there, so.
20, 240. So we're talking about 300 or 400 feet wide and maybe, or 150 feet wide, maybe 300 or 400 feet in length. That's a fairly sizable area of impervious that's being added to this. I almost wonder if it might be a good idea to review the stormwater. That doesn't mean,
There,
you know,
I mean, has there ever been a problem, it's pure sand out there, they got the swales done all around here.
well, I don't know that it's been a problem because I'm looking at a piece of paper with lines drawn on it. That's why I'm asking if it might be a good idea to review the stormwater. That doesn't mean it has to change. Okay, I'm just asking, or at least the remediation has to try.
I wouldn't think it'd be all that necessary. Yeah, it's just flat, sandy.
How much impervious are you adding?
I don't know, I'm not sure.
That's a total of 40%.
And 40% build out on the lot.
That's the whole property for you. And, whole lot. I mean,
I can get a scale.
good man, James.
I can use the exercise.
Okay, calculator. Got one of those too, James.
I got one.
You don't have one? What do you think? I know everything right in his head.
We're adding about 30,000 square feet of impervious building. And then we're adding all that gravel. And I'm not saying, like I said, I don't know that it's too much. I just don't know. Because I don't know, I'm uncomfortable. I would feel much better knowing that the design that's there right now for stormwater, I was hoping that you were gonna say this was gravel before, and I could say, okay, it's
Well,
impervious.
it's actually, you know, where the buildings are going, it's pretty well graded.
That's all the map showing me. The map showing me that this is beyond the
Well,
existing crushed stone.
actually it is, so that's pretty, very gravel, because I staked these buildings down there, I had to drive. Steel, and everything, to get it straight, as hard as rock. He's got it back, but I don't.
So I don't know, it's a problem, I just don't, I don't know, so that's the part that makes me uncomfortable. It could be just me, but we're just covered this time, but I'm okay with it. As far as I can. I just was a little curious.
Basically adding about 290 by 170. Let the minutes reflect that the zoning administrator got the scale for the surveyor.
Was it 290 by 170? I was probably closer to 170. A little bit off on.
Okay, so 290 times 170 equals 49,300 square feet.
So over an acre. So I don't remember, it was a long time ago when we did this site plan, so I don't remember how much extra capacity was built into the stormwater plan. It's probably plenty. I just don't know.
I really don't see a problem with myself, I mean, being out there, say this water, it doesn't settle anywhere, it's all gone, even the drainage swells. It's not, you don't look right after, like a big rain, they're dry, they dry. Water clean around, so. As we were saying, like,
Stand bit in there then, it's all stand.
well, good, he started digging a hole, he probably got saying about, well, I know my place is 60 foot deep,
There you go.
60 foot straight down without that one. But on the roads and drilled, and well, he says, as far as I'm gonna go, because after that was in the hard pan, then you could get hay water, but he said, there's a lake under there, and on top of that, in that same. It's 17 and a half gallons a minute, when you first did it,
Just,
you had the water in there.
just so we understand, if this is approved, that's it for this site. It's either 40% impervious, that's the limit in the code, so nothing else is going on this property after this. If this should happen, this would be it. There can't be any more building or gravel or pavement of any kind. He's maxed out.
Yeah, it was, Ding Dong was talking about doing all one more out back, and I told him, I think this is it.
No, this is it.
Jim, this is Ann. Shouldn't there be an environmental assessment form on this? It looks like it's an unlisted action. You're given a number of square feet that are being
Yeah,
added.
it's gonna be subject to seeker, so.
I don't have a sit down judgment.
Hello, my name is Diane Sear. I have someone on our team who's waiting to be entered into the meeting.
There's no public hearing. So it's up to the board. You want to allow public comment?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead, Diane.
Sorry, I was just mentioning somebody on our team is waiting to be added to the meeting. He has more information if Mr. Pigeon can't answer these questions.
Hi, guys. I got in. This is Tim Wilkins. I'm one of the owners of All Purpose Storage.
Oh.
You don't learn Janus or what?
I think it was just some of this. So,
Okay, George. We're gonna need an update on secret. Obviously, we did one with the front part, and we'll still need to give these to this. And do you wish to hold for the hearing for this thing?
I don't know that the proposal is that controversial. I just, as I said earlier, I just would like to be sure that we have stormwater capacity to handle the extra.
Sure, because we can send them up to.
There's also a flat roof building.
Flat roof buildings still
I know.
are impervious and they still, right?
Right, I'll figure it out.
Because the flat roof buildings go to gutters which drain off,
Right.
right? Okay.
It's really pretty drainable site.
In those instances where we haven't required a full SWIP, we have required an erosion and sediment control plan, and we have had Matt review it as a stormwater officer for the town.
That's all I'm asking is that somebody just checks the original plan to make sure that the stormwater system that's on site can handle the added, there has the capacity to handle the addition. I'm not asking you to rewrite the whole SWIP. I just want to know that somebody's taking a look at it and being sure. But otherwise, I don't think it's all that controversial. I think this was always in the plans and certainly isn't allowed use, so.
I agree with you, John. I think is, you know, the applicant owes that to us just to make sure that they're still within the bounds of it.
So usually in those instances, Don, we need like an erosion and sediment control plan. So we need, you know, like silt fence shown, hay bales, you know, that kind of thing. Not a full blown SWIP, something you review with Matt. If that's acceptable to the board, it's up to the board. But at a minimum, that's what we've required in the past.
Okay, so you're looking for silt fence around it.
Yeah. That's for erosion control during the build.
Right. And then make sure that the site's properly graded for the runoff. Because I understand your point. We've got this whole area in the back that's undeveloped. And that appears where the water's going today. But,
well, that and these drainage wells.
that's what I mean. So we need to make sure that system is functioning and it can handle the additional runoff that we have from the new building and the new ground.
Only a little over an acre, so there's not a lot, just wondering if there's capacity there. And it may require just widening a swale or something, just to make sure that it can, it's not like you're gonna have to rebuild everything, it's just to make sure that it can handle it.
And then I think it would be wise to have a note added to the plan that due to the impervious area, the limits reached, and note be put on here, no further development
Right.
is to occur. So that everybody understands that's the case, in black and white.
Okay, so I'll go back to my other question. Of course, do you want a public hearing for this project?
I don't think it's controversial, that's the other thing we wanted.
It's already, it was already.
As long as the condition.
I don't even know they had it built before. And then, the only, and over here, it's all land laws. And never will be with the owning property, except maybe a quarry. Over on this side, we have still homes or big development area.
No one's
already
no one's
done.
raising those,
And it's all.
Do I take that comment, Eric, as to being the motion?
Do you have to make a motion out to the public hearing?
I think we should, because we usually have one. So
I'll make a motion to waive the public hearing or to wait for residential self-storage also.
Motion's been made to not require or to waive the requirement for a public hearing for Harrison Avenue Self-Storage LLC. To the motion, do I have a second?
I'll second it. Jerry.
Motion's been made, second. Any further discussion?
This is Ann. I guess I would err in favor of public hearings on projects like this. They are increasing their capacity by, looks like, more than a third. And I think a lot of people have shown concern about the Harrison Avenue area just generally. So it might be worthwhile to give the public an opportunity to say something if they wanted to. It may be no one will show up or say anything, but it might be a good thing to do.
Thank you. Anything further? If not, to the motion to waive the requirement for the public hearing. You call the roll, please.
John Arnold,
Always have to be first, so. Aye.
Eric Bergman,
Yes.
Ann Purdue,
No?
Was that a name?
Yes, nay.
Okay.
Mike Shaver,
Yes.
Gerald Bouchard,
Yes.
Adam Siebel,
Yes.
Peter Jensen,
Nay. I have a 5 in affirmative, 2 negative. Motion, is that correct, Madam Secretary?
correct.
Motion carries. Okay, what else do you want to do, Ward?
Could be just
It's gonna tell me get lost, I know that, but, there's some information we're looking for. And that should be provided before we charge forward.
I've got stormwater, correct?
Yep.
And as a soil and erosion sediment control plan reviewed by Matt, and I'll try and get comments from Matt, or if he's looked at it and approves it, I'll try and get some correspondence from him. And I got a secret form that's needed.
What do you want to do?
What's the mandates on there for the?
Oh, yeah, yep,
Do you want to consult or have
yeah, I got those two.
fire department look at it for dates or offer? Or
I don't know if we should have fire department look at that. I don't know.
No, it's just as far as the place of dates.
Yeah, I think like one at the end of every roadway, so if there's people in there or something, because you said there's no code on that?
I'll try and find something, like, there's something, I'll
If
look.
there is something, but at least every roadway that goes in between the buildings, so they got another escape route out the back if something happens in there, or if they get a brush fire in there, people can get in. It was one of the things that I picked up on when we were doing, I did a class on solar and how they were putting fences around, and that was mentioned, and I just thought this kind of fit into the same scenario.
How does that work with the security fence? So that's what I was wondering. Is it?
Well, again, that's a problem, and maybe they should be, like we have lock keys on our fire trucks.
Right.
So maybe fire should be involved with this.
It's usually the fire department will take care of a lock or chain pretty right away.
Yeah, I know, I've done that in my past, but, I'm just looking for an escape route there, a safety issue, I guess. we could solve.
To escape the site, not into the site, but out of the site.
Out of the site, correct.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Okay, I think I was dozing off or something. Mr. Markey, we have also a requirement for the note on the plans of no to further development is,
Yeah, I have that as well.
thank you.
must be the content before you doze off, Peter. Must be the content before you doze off. That's pretty good, huh?
Okay. Mr. Pigeon, you think you can have that ready for us before sometime?
Tomorrow.
No.
We don't need it tomorrow, but would you like to be on the agenda in January?
Absolutely.
Okay, so can you have it by, what date do we need it by?
I think we're looking for the 10th.
The 10th of January.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
If it's the 11th of January, we can move you to the February meeting.
Oh, that'd be all right.
Okay. Yeah.
You'll like-
January 10th, Don, write it down.
You sure?
January 10th.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
January
22.
22.
No. No, that's great, then.
Well, there's a lot of things might get in there for you.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mark, do you have anything further for the board?
Yes, I do. I've been trying to get a hold of council. I just haven't been successful. I will continue to effort to do so, and as soon as Carl and I connect, I'll let you know. But I did have a thought concerning the environmental assessment on biochar.
Okay.
And it is my opinion, I had not talked about this with Carla, this is one of the things I wanted to broach with her, but I would suggest that you consider rescinding your resolution on your lead agent status and refer it back to DEC. Given what we've done with this, and I say that after we've gone through the assessment form, I think you had maybe 5 or 6 items that were potentially impactful. And all but one of those had to do with air emissions. I know we're gonna try and get a third-party review of our own expert, but I got to thinking about this. DEC's got area emissions people on staff. They're gonna be doing the area emissions permits. I don't see why we couldn't give the lead agent status to them. We're gonna be a coordinating agency. We'll have the ability to comment to them, but they would be the lead agent. They have the professional staff to do that review. They're the permitting agency for that aspect of that project. I think that's a reasonable thing to consider, that you give the lead agent status to them.
It would definitely be a reasonable thing to consider. However, the other part of that is, will they accept?
It's the first I broached it, so I'm not asking for, it's obviously up to you. If you want to keep it, we'll go on our path that we had of securing a consultant to work with us. But I just thought of that in the intervening time. I didn't get a chance to talk to Carla yet. I figured I'd raise that with you as something to consider.
I think that we should have input from council.
Yep, definitely.
So you're suggesting that we turn over lead agency for seeker to DEC. That doesn't change any of the other approval.
No,
Correct. You still have site plan purview, and you're still an involved agency. You have opportunity to comment to DEC.
Then they would report back to our planning board what their findings are under seeker.
And then we would move forward after we have their decision on seeker.
But not just on that portion of seeker, but all of seeker.
All of it.
So DEC will do like the Chabot and everything.
It's an interesting proposal.
What's that?
I said that's an interesting proposal.
Yes.
My initial,
My thought process was, after seeing the preliminary results of the assessment that was done, at our last meeting, like I said, 5 of the 6 items that rose to further consideration related to air. And then I had a couple members approach me afterwards saying, I really don't know about this air emission stuff at all. So if that's, and I, to be honest, I don't know anything either. I mean, carbon dioxide and all this, I don't know what levels. They're saying they're putting 100,000 tons a year into the air. I don't know if that's light or a lot, or I don't know.
I don't either.
Right.
the other thing is going to, the applicant will have a verse. Because if we turn over lead agency status, then he's got another 30-day window to wait.
Well, it does and it doesn't. I mean, they still have to get their air permit and solid waste permit from DEC. And those things are gonna go on their own timeline, as we know things do with the state.
That's for sure.
And to be honest, they may have another 30 days anyways, because we were gonna send it out, we were gonna try and find a consultant to give us advice as far as, I mean, there's stuff there that goes well beyond my technical expertise. And that's when we send it out to an engineer of some kind.
You know, even on matters of traffic, I mean, I think it's good that a local board maintains your lead agent status, because it's local traffic, everybody understands, you know, that. But air emissions is just highly technical stuff.
It is.
My initial reaction is that it's more than air. It's about the nature of the community as well. And the standards that DEC is employing for purposes of a permit are kind of limited, whereas I think our purview is, greater. Yeah, well, I understand.
Well, I mean, if you want to keep it, we keep it. And it's up to the board.
Something to think about. I think it's an interesting proposal, as I said.
And I will broach it with Carla, and I'm sure she'll have an opinion on it for you as well. She's not heard anything about this, so.
Okay,
That was just a thought I had.
very good.
That's it.
That's it, okay. Well, seeing as how that is it, it's an opportunity to wish each of you and your families the happiest of holidays. And don't do anything crazy. And do I have a motion?
Motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Motion been made, is there a second?
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I'll call you tomorrow, Mike.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, send me your telephone number.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, I'll bet. See ya.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.